Howdy folks, I'm Part-Time, and you're watching Part-Time's Tips and Tricks to Fast Draw. Today I would like to tell you about the world's fastest professional gunfighters' 3 shooting classes and how the individual speed index, or ISI, is applied in each class. First of all, what is an individual speed index? In simple terms, it is the slowest time a shooter is allowed to shoot and it still counts as a qualifying shot. A shooter's index is determined by their fastest time average plus 3/100ths of a second. For example, if a shooter's fastest time average is a 400, their index will be a 430. This 3/100th of a second serves as a safety net between what a shooter is capable of and what they are allowed based on their ability. A shooter's fastest time average can be taken from a sanctioned or club level shoot by adding up the shooter's time from each round of competition and dividing the total by the number of rounds. When you go to our website at wfpgofficial.com and click on the menu item Shooters, there you will find the 3 Wfpg classes. When you click on any of these 3 classes, you will see the shooters in each class listed by fastest time. Beside the shooter's fastest time, you will see their fastest time average, not their index. This is done for a specific reason. When a shooter puts too much focus on their index, it can subconsciously become a crutch, hindering the shooter from progressing in speed and possibly the transition into the next class. But when a shooter sets their fastest time average as their goal, it provides them with the proper motivation for improvement based on individual ability in any competition, regardless of their opponent. Now to tell you about the WFPG's 3 shooting classes, starting with the Open Division, is a 2022 Texas State Open Division champion, Norman Morrison, also known as Mongoose.
Thank you, Part-Time. The Open Division is the entry level of the WFPG. Shooters in the Open Division have a fastest time average ranging from just below 1 second down to a 381. Make no mistake, this is a very competitive class. These shooters battle it out in sanctioned matches to receive a championship buckle for first place and custom WFPG belt conchos for 2nd through 5th place. When an Open Division shooter's fastest time average reaches a 380, that shooter automatically moves into the next class of the WFPG, the Master Class. Shooters in the Master Class have fastest time averages ranging from a 380 down to the 3-1s and the 3-0s. In order to maintain the fairest competition possible in each class, it is recommended that a shooter's fastest time average be calculated regularly at a club level, allowing the transition from the Open Division to the Masters class to occur prior to a sanctioned competition. Shooters in the Masters class also compete for a first place championship buckle and 2nd through 5th place conchos in sanctioned matches. Now, when a Master Class shooter scores a time of 300 or below in a sanctioned competition and backs it up within 2/100 of a second in the same round, that shooter receives a 300 pin and automatic entry into the 3rd, final, and fastest class of the WFPG, the 300 Invitational class. This class is comprised of not only the WFPG's 300 club members, but also state, regional, territorial, national, and world champions, as well as world record holders from multiple shooting organizations, including the WFPG. Just like the Open Division and the Masters class, Invitational class shooters also have a fastest time average. But, unlike the other classes, they do not compete with an individual speed index. Instead, the entire class has an overall index of a 350 to commemorate the first invitationals held in 2016 by the WFPG's founder, Richard Snyder, aka Kodiak. Now, it is true that some of our master class shooters have a lower index than the 350 of the invitational class, and there is a simple explanation for that. When invitational shooters have fastest time averages as low as a 283, as some of our shooters do, they would have an index of a 313. But when these shooters compete against other shooters like themselves that can shoot times as low as the 2.9s, 2.8s, 2.7s, and even the 2.6s on demand, well, that 313 safety net tends to become ineffective. Therefore, the 350 index simply serves as a cutoff for a qualifying time in that class. Now, this goes back to what Part-Time had mentioned earlier about focusing less on your index and more on your fastest time average. Shooters in the invitational class compete for a first place championship buckle and custom Wfpg belt console for second through fifth place in sanctioned competitions, as do the shooters in the open division and the master class. Invitational shooters can also earn additional awards in their class as they progress in speed. Along with the 300 pin, there is a 290, a 280, a 270, and a 260 pin awarded to the shooters once they have scored the time on the pin or below. Recognition for the accomplishments of our members has always been a staple of the Wfpg since it was founded in 2016. When a shooter in the open division, master class, or the 300 invitational class wins a state, regional, or world championship, that shooter is added to the Wfpg's Hall of Champions, which can also be viewed on our website at wfpgofficial.com.
I hope this helps answer at least some of the questions you may have about our organization. If you have more, feel free to post them below, contact us through our website or on our Facebook page. Before we wrap this up, I'd like to leave you with this message. Not everyone who picks up a 6-shooter and starts competing in fast draw is going to shoot times in the low 3s or high to mid 2s. We understand that, but we don't expect that. But any shooter that can react to the light, draw a single action revolver, and hit the target in a half a second or less deserves recognition for that ability. And with the Wfpg's 3 shooting classes, you now have the opportunity to receive that recognition. As always, thank you for watching Part-Time's Tips and Tricks to Fast Draw. Be sure and subscribe, and don't forget to give us a like.